Hello, everybody. It's MV. MV doing 1972 and episode 2 of Who the Hell is Carmen Fanzone anyway? It's my take on a well-known line in American football when referring to Mel Kiper. This is 1972 that I'm still preparing. I'm still going through it. And while I build up the teams and get the names right and the logos and the stadiums right and the positioning of the players, I thought I would do an exhibition game. So I'll start off with, and this will hopefully take it just an hour, just getting my settings right. I love this game. It's really becoming fast in my number one in my rotation. So I love Action PC. I've invested a hell of a lot of money in that. And I've really enjoyed it, and it still remains high, out of the park. I've been a committed fan for 26 years, maybe 25 years. That's a long time for a hobby. But as I'm now getting older, of course, I recognize that I am one of many that have stuck with the game since probably my early 20s. I never got into baseball until about, I was, 15, 16, and then playing games when I was maybe about 21. So I'm getting up there in the years now, but I can remember Earl Weaver very, very fondly. Things like, what was it? Not 4 inches, but the one Hardball being one of my earliest games that I played, and I love that game. But here we are, 1972. I've told the reasons why on yesterday's episode. It's an era I'm not very clear, not very how can I say, knowledgeable on, but I'm gaining knowledge by the day. I have learned a lot about players, and I'm going, and this is part of being my preparation, trying to get into the mind of some of these players. And I've started to look into the Texas Rangers, so I'll just quickly go into them. And already, I have learned a lot about this particular team. So if I go into the ratings, I learned that Mike Paul was a good pitcher for 2 or 3 years, maybe. I could bring up Baseball Reference and just check him out, actually. Just make sure, and I don't embarrass myself. Mike Paul. I'm sure he had maybe 3 or 4 good seasons. I never heard of him. Not in our leagues before. I just did not know who Mike Paul was. But he turns out he was pretty good. He was a kind of a really early look into who the hell is Mike Paul. No, maybe it wasn't him. It was someone else I looked at. So I'm just looking at him. In 1972, he had a particularly good season. But apart from that, no. There was someone else I was thinking of. The guy that started for, I can't remember which team. Okay, so Mike Paul only had a really good 1972. As you can see there, 3.4 WAR, 2.17 ERA. He was kind of could play. He was a starter and a reliever. 108 strikeouts, 139 ERA plus. Not bad at all. It's not up 180 plus, which is obviously elite. But I did like the home runs per 9. A very good, ratio of home runs. He doesn't give up many. And then looking at that, in a relatively modern era, 1972, that's pretty good, I'd say. So I had my first outing in an exhibition game yesterday with him, and he was pretty good. Ted Ford, good player, fast. So I learned about him. Paul Lindblad. So again, I learned about Ted Ford yesterday. He's more of a quick runner. Let's have a quick look at his stats. There you go, Bunt. I looked him up. Not so much from a stealing base point of view, but he can run the bases. A good outfielder generally, good range. So again, I get to learn about these players. If I want to know what they look like, I quickly go into, Baseball Reference, and then I can stick it in my memory of my own head. I think, okay, this is what Ted Ford looks like. Sad thing is, most of these guys are dying out. I still think of the 70s, because I was alive then, as a fairly modern era, even though I was a little little boy. But it's sad that these guys are now passing on. And that was the saddest thing I realized yesterday. Even though I've been playing baseball obviously for 40 years of gaming and all the rest of it, you take for granted that they'll be around forever. Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, but I've actually seen them pass, and it's sad. It's life, but it's sad at the same time. It's like all your heroes now begin to pass into another dimension, you know. But that's life, unfortunately. It happens to us all. So anyway, that was Mike Paul. I liked him when I looked at him yesterday. I will continue. So I've looked at all of these teams. I just double checked the stadiums are right. So the Baltimore Orioles, Memorial Stadium. I don't know if I edited the positions. Yes, I did. That one is done. The Red Sox. This is Bernie's team. Fenway Park, but I've got the wrong Fenway, so I'll just double check that. And I haven't put Mike's stadiums in yet. I was talking to him last night. He's got a whole array that he's hiding from me. I want to get my hands on it again. I do have it. Oh, that looks nice. But that's an older version. I like Mike's because it tells you the years. You know, here I can't. I've got to be all day long flipping, messing around with this. But I want to look for a 1970s type of picture. If I can't find one, then I'll use, the photo and render it in ChatGPT, and that will do me. I'm just trying to find that will do for 1970s. So I get this down, just quickly arrange this, catch it down here somewhere, and get these organized. I'm trying to do this broadcast every day now. So just work during the daytime, settle down in the evening, get this done before dinner or after dinner. A little bit of a routine. I've no longer part of the leagues we were doing, which were fabulous. They take up a lot of your time. The FOD league we did, Field of Dreams League, and the Digital Diamonds, I think it was called. I never did quite remember that name. But they were fun. They were fun. I won 3 World Championships, got to 5 World Series, actually in 30 years of playing. It's not too bad, I suppose. I'll double check that data. Let me just make sure. Twice in the Digital Diamonds. I think I made the World Series 1, 2, 4 times, I think. I want to say 4 times. And I won it 3 times. That's it. And the World Series 5 times, I think. Yes. My data is correct. So, and then many times in the playoffs, and memorable losses, which makes it more fun when you don't always win. You know, memorable losses like bringing in Hoyt Wilhelm to secure the victory in a playoff game, a well-known playoff game against my friend David. And then with a 3-run lead, I gave him a grand slam in the 9th. Well, you just don't get that. Hap Phelps came on and belted me one into left field. These are memories that stay with you forever. There are many other ones, so many memories. I've always joked that I'd write a book about my losses in dramatic fashion. There are so many. But that's what makes it fun. And I'm sure the others in the league have their own stories. Okay, so that's done. Boston, that's the right logo. So we crack on. Quick look at the Boston Red Sox just to make sure. I don't know all of these players. I know Fisk. I know Reggie Smith. There is my most favorite player, pretty much in all baseball gaming history. Reggie Smith. Very under. I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame. I don't think so. But I know so he's not. Tommy Harper, I don't know who he is, but I'll soon learn. I know who Ricky Petrocelli is. I did do a replay in Out of the Park 6, 7, 10 years ago, maybe. And I have it on the Out of the Park forums. So I have documented it somewhere, thank God. And so I can go back and have a look and see what he was. But I do remember having him it's a shortstop, right? Third baseman, okay. Maybe in 72 he was a third baseman. I'm sure I had him at short, but anyway. Yastrzemski, I do know, but I don't know who Marty Patton is. But Bernie, my good friend, will tell me a little bit about these guys. I know who Tiant is, obviously. I say obviously. I learned about him more by playing in the Dream Leagues. Bill Lee, Spaceman, I do know about him. Historically, I've always known about him before I even got to the Dream Leagues because I've read about him. Ben Ogilvy, I do know of vaguely. Leo Paricchio, I know. Danny Cater, just barely. Rick Miller, yeah, outfielder, right? Yep, I know who he is. Gary Peters, yep, I do know him from the White Sox. I do know who he is. And down here, you have all these guys that are grayed out. Sorry, not grayed out, but grayed out here because they're not active. But you can make them active. So Dwight Evans is not active in 1972, played in the minors. So you can choose, I believe, if you were doing a season that's not where you've incorporated replay, you could bring Dwight Evans up and Lynn McLaughlin up. And again, with some of the players, you'd have to look and see where they traded. There's Cecil Cooper, I like him. Another player that did well in the FOD. Field of Dreams League we had. So, and I get, I mean, one of the things I learned is you get to learn who your favorites are. So, okay, I've done the Boston Red Sox. Let's check out Cleveland. Just make sure I've got the stadium there. Stadium's there. Edited the positions. This looks like a little tight, though. This stadium looks a little bit, like, really cramped. Like a large outfield, almost out of proportion. So, do I change it? I'll leave it for now. Cleveland. Detroit. One of my favorite teams. Because my friend, oh, there we go. Because Steve really got me to like the Tigers a lot. Now, Steve Tate is a well-known member of the gaming community. He is a Detroit Tigers fan. And before him even, there was a guy I knew, not knew personally, he used to roam the out of the park boards called Tiger Fan. I do remember the Detroit Tigers of my time in '84. They were particularly great. I do remember that from my own memory. Over the years, I've got to know that Trammell, and in fact, that team, I vaguely can remember it. I won't even try and remember, but I know that Trammell and Whitaker and Lemon and let's see, Kirk Gibson were part of that team. Jack Morris, you know, the team that it more or less sticks in my head. Tom Brookins, I think. And over the years, I've always had a distant kind of admiration for Detroit Tigers. But playing in the leagues, I began to understand that Briggs is a more of a hitter's park. And then valuing the players a little bit differently, like, you know, knowing that the shortstop, Trammell was good, Whitaker was really good. I can't remember who the first baseman was in 1984. I just can't remember. It escapes me at the moment. But just in case anyone has joined the chat, I haven't been looking. So I might be talking to an empty room, but that's okay. This is all about me. Now, this is just about me sharing my passion. And, oh, here we go. So no one in the room yet, but that's fine. You can pick it up later. And me documenting my passion more than anything else. If anyone wants to come along for the ride, they are obviously most welcome. So using Payoff Pitch, this is what I do. So just scrolling down, that looks to be okay. Detroit. Milwaukee Brewers. I don't know much about them in this era. I don't know why it doesn't allow me. Oh, there you go. Oh, for some reason. It's not. Were they called the Brewers in 1972? I think so. Anyway, let's look at the things I've got here. This is not in. Looks like it's half been set up, so I'll just set it up. Yeah, but it does look okay. That looks like Cecil Cooper right there. Yep, this is set up correctly. The New York Yankees. I know they're set up, but let me just double check again. Chose a nice stadium. Yankees all set up nicely. I particularly like that photo. I've always liked that photo. So many stadiums out there to use. On my PC, I've got thousands, but I can't be asked to just bring them over. California Angels, California Dreaming. Let's have a look here. Edit positions. Okay, we got a bit of a task here. So first base. Drag that down. There's so much easier than action. And when in the game, I must admit, it looks beautiful. It somehow it just makes everything look nice. Fairly easy to maneuver. I'm just trying to get them in a position. I don't never hear the end of it from David. He likes things just so. Him and his comfortable slippers. Right, that's saved. David Lando, a well-known member of the community. And well, I've got to say, what a pleasure it was the other day. I was on the broadcast for Mike Silver, who I've known for a while now, a couple of years, him and Jamie. And I got to meet Ron Jacket after all these years. Lovely man, really charming man. And it was an honour, actually. And this is my Britishness coming out now, and politeness, but he was a man who was I've listened to and watched, never interacted with him all these years, and then finally there I was face to face with him on camera, and it was lovely to meet Ron, a true champion. So, kudos to Ron Jacket, and I will try my best to reach out to him again because, he was so lovely. Let's keep going. So, Chicago White Sox, I did play with this team, and this is maybe where I mentioned the pitcher that I learnt. Tom Bradley, that's the guy. So I'm going to look him up on Baseball Reference. Tom Bradley. Tom Bradley. Now, he has a few. He's the guy I think has a few things. Now, he looks really good. 6'2", 180 pounds. He's still alive, thank God. Yeah, he has 71 was a good season, 72 and 73. Let's see what he did in 71. Well, sometimes when I see the ERA pluses down here, either the league was really chock-a-block full of great pitchers, or it's a strikeout pitcher. Looking at his strikeouts per 9, yes, he's a strikeout pitcher. He also has a fairly decent home runs per 9 in 1971. In 72, it does creep up a bit, but a good whip. So I like him in 1972. And so this is what we would do in the FOD if we drafted a team in, say, 71 or 72 and it was the White Sox. You'd be checking to see the stats of the player and evaluating, well, can I keep this player for 2 years, 3 years? In this case, he'd have a maximum of 3 years. And would I go forward or backwards? Well, if I could draft him from 72, obviously I go backwards. If I draft him from 72, if I'm drafted from 72, I have the choice to go forwards or backwards. Obviously, I'd go backwards, but I'd only have him for 2 years. So, but 2 good years, or goodish years. He'd probably be a number 4 in the rotation or number 5 in our league. But yeah, I can tell that he is not a bad player at all. So there is Tom Bradley. I guess you'd still call him a middle of the road pitcher, but he'll do for this league that I'm running. More guys. I just looked at there's more guys for the White Sox. I'm looking at this is a good team. Wilbur Wood, Terry Foster, Carlos May. I do know Reichart now because I played with them the other day, Pat Kelly. So the more I play with them, the more I know who they are. And that's the joy of me doing this project. Okay, so let's move on. Kansas City Royals. Let's have a look and see who they. Oh, I haven't done the stadium. So they played in Municipal Stadium. Okay. I don't know how many municipal stadiums I've got. I'm sure there's more than one municipal stadium. Okay, here we go. Municipal Stadium. Oh, Casey, it does tell you. Oh, gosh, it's bad. Wow. That will do. Maybe KC4 or KC5. It's a bit too dark. Municipal 69. That looks okay. But I like 4. Okay. So edit the positions. Third. First. Home catcher. Right-handed bat. Left-handed bat. There's the pitcher. Third base fielder. First base fielder. Second base fielder. Second base. Shortstop. Fielder. This is not one of Mike's. Might be Gary. No, I don't know who this is. Anyway, I have a whole lot of stadiums from God knows all over the place. That one is saved, so that one is done too. So getting through the American League now, coming down to the last one, last couple, Twins. I've got that set up already. Again, that looks a little tight, but that will do. Oakland Athletics. Interesting. You can't for some of these. Okay. It recognizes that. For some reason, the abbreviations are not all going in, so I don't know if that's a bug, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, we've got all of this set up nicely. I'm not sure that's from the 70s, but we'll take it. It's the same stadium, I'm sure of that. Rangers I've done. Yes, I know that's done. Okay. So we've done the American League. Let's try the National League. Let's start with the Cubbies. Got Wrigley in there already. More or less lined up. These guys. Yeah. Okay, Cubbies are done. Okay, the Cubbies. Let's go to Expos. I think I've also done the Expos. Let's try that again. Yep. Jerry Park. Let's try the Mets. Let's look at the Mets. Let's go, Mets. Showing some of my bias towards the New York Mets. My guys. Yeah, that's also done. Let's go to the Phillies. I know I've done the Phillies because I did it yesterday, but just double check. It was an ugly Phillies, but I think I found one in the end. So I probably need to note to self is that I need to. I didn't like that Phillies without the fans in it, so I'll have to go back and try and get a new Phillies one in there. Pittsburgh. Yeah, okay, so I had done. Oh, no, I haven't. So Pittsburgh, there we go. Pitcher, right hand bats, left hand bats, catcher, left hand bats. Wait, I don't know who this is. There were RB and left out, but I assume it's to do with the boxes. where you're waiting for batter on deck. Okay. All bases are in. Fielders. First base. Second base. Right field. There we go. Let's inch that just slowly closer. St. Louis. Did I do St. Louis? Oh, that looks horrible. We want Busch Stadium, but that is not Busch Stadium. That's not definitely not the Cardinals. So let's just check that. St. Louis Cardinals. That's that. Okay. And then we just try Busch. There we go. That looks like it's set up. Boy, that's an ominous Busch. I mean, is that Busch really? Okay, well, we'll take it for now. Okay, we're down to the last couple of teams now, really. We can start living in exhibitions and before we start the league. So we're going to Atlanta. The stadium is there. Settings are not. The launching pad. This is Dwayne's team. He plays a 1978 replay with the Yankees and the Braves. He does. I was talking to Dwayne yesterday. Dwayne Martz. He's got a great channel. I mentioned Bernie Strom earlier. Mike Silver now has got into a little bit of showcasing his. He did the Big Beautiful Bash. And you can buy your bash balls at your local supermarket. Yeah, Mike did his recently. And he got a lot of publicity for it. And I don't know if the story's out. Yeah, I'm sure the story's out. He actually got to meet John Henry. That's the most incredible story I've ever heard. And I was there the day he was doubting whether it was the real John Henry. He did meet him. And I've got the photos to prove it. So that was a great day. I keep forgetting about that day when reality met fantasy. That was unbelievable. Quite unbelievable, blessed day. And I'm glad to have witnessed that. Okay, Atlanta, Fulton County. That's the case. We've got Cincinnati Reds here. I don't think. Yes, I was just about to say I don't know any Reds fans, but I do. How could I miss? I know Big Clue is a big fan of that, and hence the name Big Clue. Named after Ted Kluszewski, of course. A guy that I did have on one of my teams, also another one I'm fond of. A great hitter, but only from one side. So what? He was good against righties and terrible against lefties. But he was superb against righties, which is what you really need. Kluszewski played on my Red Bolt team for a couple of years. I don't think he won a championship for me. He never quite got it done. Neither did Mel Ott. Neither did the other guy from Cincinnati. What was his name? The slugging for Votto. Joey Votto was good for me, but he had intermittent seasons, so I might have had him for like 8 seasons. He was traded to me, or I traded for him. But Joey Votto has, as you know, injuries. But the way we played that FOD was really good. We had no limitations on. We could draw from 2 teams, a top tier team and a bottom tier team from a season that was given to us. We had 2 seasons to choose from. It was fun. That was the best to me. The best iteration of the fantasy league. We had up to 22 owners playing at the same time, and it was fun. It went at a fair pace, but it was fun, and I don't think I'll ever be able to replicate that again. We did do another version of the league, which is also very good, but it had some limitations to it, which also helped in many ways and probably took away some of the excitement that we had with the FOD. So it's a bit more structured, probably a little bit better run, and we didn't have so many lopsided trades. And but we still had the skullduggery. But in my opinion, it wasn't as good. But I did learn a lot more from about baseball players in general from both creations of Steve Tate and Big Clue. At the moment, we're on hiatus for indefinite. At the moment, so we don't know what's going to go happen. In the meantime, everyone's gone back to the projects with glee. I think the relentless schedule of the baseball took its toll by the week. So it's good to have a break. It's good, but we got 35 seasons or 30 seasons out of it. You can't ask for much more than that, to be fair. So I got the Cubs at the way, got the Expos. I've done all of those. Houston Astros. Let's see, Houston Astros. I don't know too much about them. Let's have a look. Have I got them in position? No, I don't. This is a Houston at night picture that I've used. Like I said, I'd probably use Mike's pictures a little bit more going forward. That's Mike Silver of Out of the Park fame. He's the guy that does the uniforms and the stadiums, fellas. If you come across him, most people who come on this channel anyway do know Mike very well and know him personally. Again, I feel honored to know him. Such a vagabond. Just a great bunch of guys that are baseball enthusiasts that I'm so lucky to have met in my time. They are rough, relentless, highly engaging, controversial. I wouldn't trust them with anything, but they're great fun. As Dwayne often says, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That seems to be our motto in our league. I was always the bastion of integrity, of course. That's my claim to fame in the league. But deep down, I was probably just as dastardly as everybody else. I just wouldn't make it so obvious. Moving on, trying to get these last couple of teams in, but scroller doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Los Angeles, let's go for the Dodgers. Okay, we got a nice stadium in there. Is it the best one, though? This is not a good representation of 1970s Dodgers. So I'll quickly go back and have a look at what we got as options. Los Angeles Dodgers. Welcome to anybody that does slide into the chat. If you're sliding or you're just watching from a distance, hello. Greetings from Cardiff, where I'm broadcasting from. Here we go, 1979, 72. No, that's the picture they got. Again, this is where I prefer Mike's pictures. I'll have to somehow get them out of Off the Park. I think I've got them in Action PC, actually. So all you do is just empty your file into, I think it's the photo file here, or stadium files, which are quite obvious. If you go into the root directory of the game, you'll see it quite easily. All right. Get home in. First base fielder, second base fielder. Can't wait to start. We're nearly there. I'm just going to, before I do the game, just getting this all set up. And I'm just doing exhibition games at the minute until I'm happy that I know what I'm dealing with. It's 1972. There we go. I've done a 1962 career replay before with the New York Mets. It was highly fun. It's quite, people seem to like it, so that's all I can judge it by. San Diego. Oh my God, that's a terrible picture. San Diego. Don't know much about them in the 1972. I guess they were a fairly new franchise. That seems to be the picture. Okay, that's a better picture. No. It looks very blurry, but funny enough, the game has a funny way of cleaning that up. I don't know how, but we'll try it for now. First base, second base. So I'm hoping that David will catch this on his way drive home. So here's the home base, catcher, pitcher, right field, center field. Is that Jack Murphy Stadium? Really? I'm not sure, but that's what it says. Again, you could get your own stadiums in there. Now we come down to the last one before we go into a game. San Francisco. Edit the positions. Oh, this looks a bit cleaner. A little less people in the stadium now. I mean, I had the idea of just doing a 1972 fictional league. Well, not fictional, but with the players, but draft them from scratch. Like have 16 teams, call them different names, and just draft the players. I kind of like that idea still. So that's an idea for the future. And then, or promote and relegate them as a goal. I don't know how I could set that up on here, but you probably can. It's so robust, the scheduling in here that I've seen so far. I saw last night, Mike showed me the home run derby or derby. That looks fun. I don't know how to do it, but it looks fun. Is that set up? I think it is. So we have the beginnings. So we can go to a game now. Now that I've got the basics in anyway, I'll probably adjust this as I go along. All the ballparks are in. All the logos are in. I don't have all the name extensions because it doesn't allow me to do all the name extensions. Because if I go here, Phyllis, and then it doesn't allow me to do PHI or whatever. Okay, that's fine. I'll just double check the name extensions. Pittsburgh Pirates. I hear Beatles always talk about the early Pirates. 70s Pirates is apparently his favorite teams. I don't know which one, it's 71 or 72, but whatever, it's his favorite. There are the Cardinals. Come down here. It takes a while to set up. But I've learned patience is a virtue. And particularly from Mike, because I'm like, how the hell do you do a project where you played every game, every team in the entire history of the league? You have to have great patience, is the answer. Braves, the Reds, Houston Astros, the Dodgers. When I tell you what it means to me, the Dodgers. Here we go, San Diego. I never see this team as a very attractive team because of the colors and all the rest of it. But they have some of the good teams in the early 80s, I must say. One that got to the final, I think it's the final 8 of Mike's Big Bash, the 1982 San Diego Padres seem to do really well. I've actually played them too, and I played with that team too. I think I did a replay of 82 or 83. And they were also, I could tell they were good. And about 2 or 3 years later from my replay, which I had to abandon, Mike, through Mike's thing, I could see they were also a good. But the 84 team's the one that got to the World Series. Showing you how good that franchise actually was. Okay, we're all set. We're all set for a game now, I believe. So we can begin. My broadcast is going on. You can see that. Here we go. So, this is getting exciting now. I So play an exhibition game. Press OK. Where do we want to go for exhibition to learn about more players in 1972? Let's try Detroit, because I know of that team. Use the DH rule, yes. I have got Ghost Runner on, by the way. That's a setting I set elsewhere. I'm going to persist with maybe using another team, a team I've never played with before. Let's try the Atlanta Braves, because I think they've still got Hank Aaron. Okay. So we're going to generate a lineup and generate both lineups, both AI. Yes. Now, which starter do I want to see? I don't want to see Chuck Seelback. So I go to edit and look at the pictures for Detroit. There is John Hiller that I liked, that Steve told me all about. So this is a beautiful Mickey Lolich. Yeah, I want to see Mickey Lolich. I want to see Mickey Lolich, that's it. So now I need to go against a left-hander. Okay, generate. Let's see who they have in their pitching rotation. And the best one is Phil Nuxie Negro. Okay, now some obvious changes to the lineup. You have all of these players here. So, is there anyone missing? That's what I want to know. So these are the guys sitting on the bench. The best one is Oscar Brown. Take off replay stats for a second. There we go. No, this is how the second baseman was a guy called Jill Garrido. How many games did he play? 75. How many did Felix Milan play? He's probably the better one. Yeah, Felix Milan takes over there. Okay, not a bad team, actually. Oscar Brown. So this is the bench of the Atlanta Braves. Now, just checking their batting positions. Felix Milan, 289 batting on base. That's no good. I'll put Mike Lum there. He's no good. Darrell Evans. Jesus, these guys are really bad. Oh my God. Right. Dusty Baker has got a very good on-base percentage. So does Ralph Garr. Jim Brazil. Jesus. Let's try Lavelle Banks. Lavelle Banks is probably going to be my number 2 hitter. Lavelle Banks. Sorry. Dusty Baker would not be hitting there. So let's put him number 3. So you got Baker, Aaron, Darrell Evans. Okay, that looks... Oh, Earl Williams. Who the hell is Earl Williams, anyway? So we need a speedy guy at the top of the lineup. Ralph Garr. That's it. So already straight away I begin to learn who Ralph Garr is, which will try and look him up. Ralph Garr. Just looking up Garr. Ralph Garr, yeah. That's what he looks like. Okay. Left fielder. He's still alive. Had a really good season in 1974. Batted 353. So this guy, at least, he can get on base. There we go. So a nice guy to have there. Just going to check Felix Milan one more time. Jimmy Brazil. Mike Lum. It's not a bad team. And to double check again, the Detroit Tigers, I never checked them. it's an exhibition game. Mickey Stanley, I know, should be playing. So, uh, Jesus, his on base is not great, is it? Gates Brown. It really does teach you about lineups. I'm going to do Tony Taylor at the top. Norm Cash to slug away. Okay, line to hit third. Willie Horton, Jesus. Jesus. Not great, are they? Duke Sims. Oh, this guy's pretty good. So let me lead off with him. He can't steal for Toffee, but he gets on base. What does he do? He gets on base. Put Tony Taylor at second. So this is a very unorthodox team, but this is my interpretation of the Tigers. So we should have a good ball game. Let's go. Welcome into Tiger Stadium. It's a bit dim, a bit rough and ready here, but Ralph Garr will, according to me, will lead off for the Atlanta Braves. Ralph Garr, a left-hand hitter. Mickey Lolich on the mound. Let's do a tour around the Detroit Tigers. Behind the plate is Duke Sims, 31 years old, part-time catcher. Batting first is Norm Cash. I just realized, does it do splits? Yes, it does. Not in the stats, but in the workings out, it does. So Norm Cash bats first. Dick McAuliffe batting second. At shortstop, Aurelio Rodriguez. At third, Tony Taylor. In left field, the veteran, Willie Horton. Center field, Mickey Stanley. And in right field, L.K. Line. I think the DH is Norm Cash. On the mound, the ace, Mickey Lolich, who comes from a season of 22-14 with a 2.50 ERA, to give up the home run, decent control, fairly good at strikeouts. The analytics on him are 61% good pitches coming from him. Here he is. His best pitch is the tough pitch. Ralph Garr, his best pitch is against tough also. So a good matchup for Garr. Here is the pitch from Lolich. It's Wheelhouse. And we start off the game with a home run, just like I called it. I said Ralph Garr does match up well. He crushes one deep with my lineup that I put in for the Tigers. So I'm sorry, for the Braves. I put in this lineup with the stuff, and I put Ralph Garr to lead off. No speed, but decent power. And boom! Red Bolt magic, baby. Yeah, baby. Here we go. Mickey Lolich, first pitch. Here's Larvell Banks stepping up now. The pitch is a tough pitch. Ground out to the shortstop. Aurelio Rodriguez has it and will make the play at first. 1 away. Game starts with a home run. Here is Dusty Baker. I just saw him on the podcast, which was done called All the Smoke, which is done by Matt Barnes and the guy that plays Stack. We used to call him Stack. They do a great podcast for basketball, but lately they've been doing Major League Baseball. They've had all sorts on there, and they've been these guys are just fantastic. Obviously, they're basketball pros. They've done really, really well for themselves, and it's called All the Smoke, and the podcast is terrific. They just had Dusty Baker on. I mean, they have a lot of people on from different eras, but yeah, who did they have on recently? I mean, they've had everyone. Strawberry recently, I saw. Just everybody, really. They just had a famous baseball writer on the other day. So there's a mixture of black and white guests that come on there, but it's a really good program. Anyway, here's Mickey Lolich, the left-hand ace for the Tigers. Patient pitch. A fly out to right field. K-Line goes back and holds it in. 2 away. Lolich against Hank Aaron. Let's see how he matches up. So Lolich is a tough pitcher. Aaron is best against Wheelhouse. Okay, it's a better not for a Wheelhouse then. The pitch. It's a tough pitch. Struck him out. Hank strikes out. Blown away there by Mickey Lolich. Here we go. Middle of the first inning. And here we go. Nuxie Necro will start for the Atlanta Braves. They lead 1-0 on a home run by Ralph Garr. Behind the plate, Earl Williams. First base, Jimmy Brazil. Second base, Felix Milan, a name I have heard of. At shortstop, Larvell Banks. Now, I've heard of him, Blanks. Wouldn't say he would normally get in the team, but here he is starting. He's a tier 3 starter. At third, Darrell Evans. In left field, Dusty Baker. And center field, Mike Lumb. And in right field, the legend, Hank Aaron. Still playing, age 38. Duke Sims settles in at the plate, and here is the first pitch from Phil Necro. Let's have a quick look at Necro. He is best against tough. Sims is best against patient. Here we go. The pitch. In play. And a single for Duke Sims. One into the outfield for a base hit. So Sims gets on base. And that's me again putting the lineup in for the Tigers. And I put Sims to lead off. Unorthodox, I know, but he has a good on base. What does he do? He gets on base. Necro against Duke Sims. He looked for a steal. Nothing doing. Here we go. Tony Taylor up at the plate. Necro. That one's in play. Now, it says flat center field F8, but there are... Okay, so we're just going to roll it. It resolves itself. It's a hit and run going on. The runner is safe, and it's not a double, so I don't know what that was. Tony Taylor lost one to center field. So that lost me for a second. Sacrifice bunt check. Okay, gotcha. Tony Taylor, they're resolving Duke Sims. Tony Taylor out. Here's Al Kaline. I had him in my Red Bull team as well. He was pretty good for me for a couple of years in the FOD. Sims looking at him, and Al Kaline ready. In play. And it could be a single. The runner scores, so Sims will get all the way home. No, he doesn't. Sims does not score. Now, Kaline at 38 years old, looking to steal. He doesn't get a good jump, so he stays at first. Phil Necro against Norm Cash. Norm is best against tough, so this is a good matchup. Patience. A grounder. It looks like a grounder. It could be a double play. It is a double play. So Norm Cash, Felix Milan gets it. Norm Cash grounds into a 4-6-3 double play. 2 down on 1 swing. Here we go. Top of the second inning. Mickey Lolich, the southpaw, comes out for the second inning. He trails 1-0. Here's Darrell Evans coming to the plate for Atlanta. Darrell Evans is a player I know a little bit about. He is best against patient. Mickey Lolich is a tough pitcher. Here we go. Here's the pitch from Lolich. Flip card. Bullpuck error check. Flip card again. And a pop-up to the catch after all of that. Duke Sims flips off his mask, and it's an easy out. Here's Earl Williams, who comes in now as a catcher. His best is against Wheelhouse. Mickey Lolich pitches a tough pitch. Grounded to the second baseman, Dick McAuliffe, and that's out. 2 outs here for the Braves. Mike Lum comes to the plate. Lefty Mike Lum, batting .225 with 9 home runs, .316 on base percentage. The pitch. Wheelhouse grounded to second, and McAuliffe will make the play. Throws to first for the out. Go to the bottom of the second inning. Here's Phil Niekro. Grounded to second. Felix Milan gets it. So I'm just going to change the dice roll into auto dice. It makes it more quicker. So Niekro spread this out. Gates Brown in play. Fly out to left field. Dusty Baker reaches around and settles under it for the out. Niekro, the knuckler working for him. Here's Mickey Stanley. Patience. And a double. Mickey Stanley gets a double. So a nice drive there by Mickey Stanley. He gets the second. 2 out for Detroit. And Willie Horton comes to the plate. Willie Horton, he is best against tough. So he matches up well. Phil Niekro, here we go. Niekro pitches. Horton, patient. Fly out to right field. Hank Aaron, a couple of steps, settles under it for the out. Go to the top of the third. Let me just turn off my phone. Mickey Lolich to Jimmy Brazil. Here's the pitch. Lefty, lefty. A double for Brazil. Just try to do this now. So Mickey Lolich against Felix Milan. Tough pitch. Fly out to center field. Stanley goes back, shields himself from the sun, and makes the out. Ralph Garreau hit a home run in this game already. Lolich, tough pitch. Ground out to third. Tony Taylor gets it and throws to first for the out. So Mickey Lolich gets out of the third inning. It's still 1-0 Atlanta. Oh, I thought Lolich was done. He's not done. Tough pitch. Struck him out. Now he's done. So Lolich comes out. Here we go. Niekro against Lolich. Niekro, Aurelio Rodriguez comes to the plate now. He's good against tough, so he matches up well. Niekro. Tough pitch. Fly it out to center field. Good connection by Aurelio Rodriguez. Mike Lum holds it in. 1 away. Niekro into his windup. Duke Sims waits. Patient. And walks. So Duke Sims, showing his ability to get a walk. I inserted him at the top of the order, and he's proving to be just right. Here's Tony Taylor, another on-base guy. Niekro patiently. Here he goes. Tough pitch. Grounded to third. And Duke Sims takes off. So Al Kaline coming up next, but the manager for the Atlanta Braves is walking him. So Kaline is being walked. It was no part of Kaline to get to Norm Cash. Let's see why. Norm Cash is batting .259 with 22 home runs. I don't know what that move is about, but let's just see. I get it. So they make an easier play. Okay. Norm Cash is ready. Patiently swinging his bat, waiting for the pitch. Here is the pitch from Necro. Patient pitch. And it's a double by Norm Cash. 2-run score. A deep drive into the gap. Rolls to the wall for a double. Al Kaline took an extra base based on his speed. And it's 2-1 Detroit. So the old veteran comes up big. Here is Dick McAuliffe. In play. A single. And Cash comes home. A bit of extra speed from Cash. And here we have Gates Brown playing DH. Tough pitch by Necro. Flied out to left field. Dusty Baker makes the catch for the out. Due up next for Atlanta as we go into the top of the fourth. Lolich now has a 3-1 lead. Dusty Baker, the young slugger, will come to the plate. He's 23 years old. It's 17 home runs, batting .323. It's all good for Dusty. He digs in. Here's the pitch from Lolich. It's in play. A ground out to first. Cash will scoop it up and take it to first for the out. Here is hammering Hank Aaron. Defense play. Lined out to first. Cash catches it straight away. 2 out. Lolich peers in, looks at Darrell Evans. Another young slugger. 19 home runs. Does get on base pretty well, actually. Here is the pitch. Patient. He walks him. That's exactly what Darrell Evans was looking for. Here's Earl Williams. Best versus Wilhelsk. Lolich will look over at Darrell Evans. Here is the pitch. Tough pitch. Fly out to left field. Willie Horton steps back and settle under it for the out. Middle of the fourth inning. Due up Stanley, Horton, and Rodriguez for Detroit. I'm loving payoff pitch. Absolutely loving it. So Necro, as Mickey Stanley settles in. Tough pitch. Ground out to second base. Felix Milan has it. And a routine play and the play to first. Phil Necro to Willie Horton, patient. A ground out to second base. Milan scoops it up again. And another play to first. Felix Milan, 29 years old, veteran, playing second base. We haven't seen much hit to Larvell Blanks yet to test him out. Aurelio Rodriguez steps in. He's 0 for 1. Necro gets a sign. Hits and deals. It's in play. Flying out to center field. Lofted, and Mike Lum settles under it for the out. So, end of the fourth inning. Still 3-1 Braves. Sorry, 3-1 Tigers. Go to the inning number 5. Lolich will pitch to Mike Lum. Lefty on lefty. As a tough pitch. Flying out to center field. Stanley goes back and holds it in. 1 away. There's Jimmy Brazil, the first baseman. Lolich pitches. Rears back. In play. And it's a double for Brazil. Drives into the gap and it rolls to the fence. So Lolich giving up the double to Brazil. This young man, is he a young man or not? I don't know if he's young or not. 23 years old. There's Felix Milan. Pitch. Fly out to center field. He makes the play. Ralph Garr is 1 for 2 with an RBI and a home run. He's at the plate. Knowledge pitches. And it's a single for Gar. And he brings home the runner. So single into the gap, base hit for Gar. A run scores. It's 3-2 Detroit. Knowledge will not be perturbed. Here he comes again to Lavelle Blanks. Here's the pitch. In play. Grounded to third. Tony Taylor will scoop it up and throw to first for the out. Middle of the 5th inning. Up next, Sims, Taylor, and Kaline. Duke Sims is 1 for 1 with a walk, so he's doing well today. Facing off against Phil Niekro. The pitch. Tough pitch. It's a fly out to center field. Lum goes back and makes the catch. 1 away. Niekro pitches to Tony Taylor. In play. And it's a double to Taylor. So Taylor gets a double. Double off the wall. And there's a dangerous Al Kaline, even at the age of 38. Very dangerous hitter. Niekro. Pitches. Tough pitch. Grounded to the pitcher. Niekro gets it. Throw to first for the out. 2 away. Norm Cash comes to the plate. He is 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs today. And a double. Niekro stares in, gets a sign. Pitches. Tough pitch. And a fly out to center field to end the inning. Lum makes the catch for the out. So we come up now with the top of the 6th inning. Young slugger Dusty Baker at the plate. Dusty swings, patient, and that's a walk. So Dusty Baker did not swing. Now then, he's a threat to steal. Mickey Lawless to Hank Aaron. Tough pitch. He struck him out. Let's see if Aaron can run. There goes Baker. He's thrown out, so I'm going to double check that. So I'm going to manual steal. Yeah, no, there. It just means I don't pause when they try and steal. Okay, he's out. Mickey Lawrence to Darrell Evans. Tough pitch. And a single for Evans. Lawrence trying to control this, Baker and Aaron. He's done well with those two. There's Earl Williams. Ballpark. Wheelhouse. But fly to center field. Stanley will make the catch at the fence. Middle of the 6th inning now. Dick McAuliffe at the plate. Tough pitch by Niekro, but a double by McAuliffe. Rips a double into the field, and here we go. He's on second. The manager now wants to walk Gates Brown. Okay, here we go. Set up the double play. And Mickey Stanley lays down a bunt to move the runners. So 1 out. Brown at second. Dick McAuliffe at third. Brown a good runner. Willie Horton up now for Detroit. Here's the pitch. In play. Grounded to third. And that is out. Fielder's choice. That is out. It's not. It's not out. There's Aurelio Rodriguez. Wild pitch. Gates Brown will score. The runners advance 4-2. Phil Necro. Defense against Enriquez. A base hit for Rita Rodriguez and another run scores. So now 5. So they make a pitching change. Cecil Upshaw will replace Phil Necro. And Cecil Upshaw comes in now to replace him. Here's Duke Sims. Piling under pressure. 2 out. In play. Fly out, however, to left field. Dusty Baker will make it for the out. End of the 6th inning. Lolich still on the mound. He's pitched 6 innings, given up 5 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 1 home run. Mike McLum. Patient and a single to Lum. So the 6th hit of the day for the Braves. Jim Brazil. Patient flies out to the shortstop, and I guess a 6-4-3 double play. So the manager sends Gil Garrido to pinch for Felix Milan. Gil Garrido does get on base. There's 2 men out, a right-hander coming in. Here's Lolich. Pitches. Tough pitch. Round to third. Tony Taylor has it. A routine play for Taylor out at first. So the Detroit Tigers still lead 5-2, middle of the 7th. Upshaw on the mound. Here's Tony Taylor. In play. A single. Al Kaline. Patient. Grounds to the short. Blanks has it. Now then. Grounds to the shortstop. So Taylor is safe. Here's Norm Cash now. 1 for 3. 2 RBIs. Cash is ready. Staring down Upshaw with the pitch. It's in the wheelhouse, and that is what Norm Cash was waiting for. Home run, Norm Cash. Straight in his wheelhouse, gone. 2-run home run, 3-run home run, no, 2-run home run by Norm Cash. He crushes that one deep. It's out of here. Home run. So Upshaw is coming out of the game, and Joe Horner is coming in. 7-2 Detroit. Here's Joe Horner. And that's a wheelhouse, but it's ground to third. Evans will move across to his left and throw to first. Gates Brown comes up, 2 men out, bottom of the 7th. 7-2 Detroit. Horner looking to get it going. Ballpark. Wheelhouse. That one is gone. Gates Brown drives it out of the park. Home run, Gates Brown. Woof. Detroit teeing off here. That's 8-2. 2 outs. 2-out home run. Horner looks in. Pitches. Tough pitch. Grounded to third, Stanley does. Evans scoops it up and thrown out at first. Here we go to the 7th inning now. The 8th inning. And Ralph Garner, 2 for 3, steps up. So he's done well against Lolich today. Here's the pitch. Ballpark. Wheelhouse and Gar hits again. Gets a single. Lavelle Blanks stepping in. He's 0 for 3 today. Lolich has owned him. Here is the pitch. Lolich, tough pitch. Fly it out to center field. Stanley goes back and makes the catch. Dusty Baker comes in. 0 for 2 so far for the young slugger. Lawless pitching. Tough. A ground out to second. Gar is out. So well fielded there. That's a 4-6-3 double play. So blanks in at short still. Here's Joe Horner in at bottom of the 8th. Willie Horton comes to the plate. Tough pitch. Fly to center field. Lum makes the catch. Horner to Rodriguez. Patient. A ground out to second. Gilgarito has the ball and over to first. That's for the out. Quick work here. Joe Horner against Duke Sims. Pop up to first. Jimmy Brazil. Easy catch. And that retires the side. That was a quick 1-2-3. Drew up at the end of the 8th. Let's see if the Atlanta Braves can pull something out of their hat here as we come to the top of the 9th inning. Aaron is waiting. There's Lodich pitch. In play. A grounder. To first. One out. There's Darrell Evans, the lefty. Lodich pitches. In play. And a base hit for Darrell Evans. A single into the gap. Earl Williams. In play. Single. So a man at second, man at first. Detroit's still sticking with Lodich. Mike Lum at the plate. Here's the pitch. In play. Fly to right field. K-Line has it. So we get down to the last out now. Jimmy Brazil staying in there. 2 men on for the Braves. Ballpark. And it is a home run. Jimmy Brazil takes Mickey Lullard's yard. Suddenly it's 8-5. The home run going, gone. Woof. So Lullard shakes his head, but he'll take that on the chin. He's a veteran pitcher. Let's go. He's fatigued. Lullard looks in to try and get that final out. Here's Gil Garrido. The pitch. Patient. And he walks Garrido. So Garrido gets a walk. This is not the time. And up here comes his nemesis in this ball game, Ralph Gar. The pitch. Patient. A grounder to the shortstop. Rodriguez throws to first for the out. And that is your ball game. Well, the Braves came back late in this one, but Lodich gets the win. Niekro gets the loss. There's no saves. The player of the game, Norm Cash, with a big home run. So, folks, that was an exhibition game. Again, from the 1972 season, as I get to know the players. The next time I broadcast will probably... Well, it will be tomorrow. It will be the start of the season because I've got everything set up now. I just wanted to check a few things and I've done it. I've set things up the way I like to have it. But the Detroit Tigers came through strong there. So you can save that lineup, I think. But anyway. Who the hell is Carmen Fanzone anyway. He is a left fielder for the Chicago Cubs. So I will leave it there. I had great fun doing that. Duke Sims is down here. He's not even on the roster for Detroit, so I don't know why he played in the exhibition, but maybe it takes the full roster as opposed to for exhibitions, and then you play the game. Just out of interest, you can set your settings here. I wasn't sure whether to enforce historical usage rates. Maybe I'll do that. I am a Ghost Runner guy. I don't know what all of these errors mean. Fireman, I don't know what that means. I know it's to do with relievers, but not sure exactly. So these are the teams. I will not take 18. I will just jump in when necessary, or I'll watch. I've already done this already. Schedule. So there is a schedule. I would probably choose now which one I would like to play for opening day, that is, and then I'll sim a week, come back, and so on and so forth. Is there a juicy one I'd like to see? Texas, which I do know now. Philly, no. The Dodgers, maybe. Milwaukee. Detroit, Boston looks like a really good game. Because I've just played with Detroit, so I know how they are. I know most of the players on there anyway. And let's have a look at Boston and see what they're all about. Let's see what Boston are about anyway. How do I get back to the return to project? Boston Red Sox. There we go. Let's see who the Red Sox have. Fisk, yeah, I talked about Red Smith. I don't know who Tommy Harper is. Well, I kind of do, but did he play for the Braves later on? I can't remember. But he is definitely someone new to me, if that makes sense. Yeah, I'll play that tomorrow. So from me, it's thank you if you've just joined, or you've joined in, or you've come back, or whatever, or you're listening to this on the way home, or you come back to this project another day. It's been a blast for me. I would just like to say thank you if you joined, and I will be doing some more tomorrow. So from me and V, it is good night from him.